Let's keep going. Look at that. Well, everyone, I am here. Let's give like 5 minutes for see if anyone joins this time because I remembered to ping for once, which is good. Oh, I should probably pull up the right tab. Might be smart. My computer will stop shitting itself. That'd be great. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I can switch to game one. I am totally prepared for this day, as people who are in watching can see. We'll give like a few minutes though, and we're gonna start watching Madchine's run so far. He has his first 6 games, so it's 3 pools games. He has 3 games up until tops through top 128 through top 32. And after that, we will then tomorrow we will do CBB's first 6 games. Then the next day we'll do Madchine's 4 bracket games in the winners bracket, and CBB's 7 bracket games to get all the way up to grand finals. So that's the plan for this weekend. Saturday we'll do something I don't know yet. Haven't thought that far, I'll be honest. Yeah, we'll give it a couple minutes. As we usually do. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. I'm doing okay. Didn't have anything to do this morning, so doing a morning stream like yesterday. It's hopefully a good time for Europeans, and I believe both our grand finalists are European, if I remember correctly, based on their time zones and stuff. So hopefully it's a decent time for them if either of them wants to see it. And as I'll say, if your match, your CB want to hop in for are like online and want to join the call for their stream, like for the stream stuff, like the stream of their games, I would welcome that. It's just, if they want to, no pressure. Yeah, we'll give it one more minute or two, and then we will get going. Yep. Games. Yep. Ugh. Hope everyone is braving the cold pretty well. It's been very cold here in the Midwest. The last couple of days have been better, but it's been very cold in general in the Midwest recently, which sucks, but, that's just what it is. Okay. Yep, we'll just go wait one more minute and then we'll get going. I will say I've been experiencing some neck pain. It's mostly been gone the last few days, but it's kind of hurting today. So if I do end up having to pause stream OS because my neck is hurting too much, and I'll probably do a second one later today or earlier tomorrow. That said, let's get into it. So before we start getting into matches, I'd actually like to start by analyzing Madchine's team in general. So this is initial pools draft. I would like to go over it. So First, we say his first pick is Rotom Appliance, a very solid pick. Actually, I actually want to see what pick he was in the draft. Pool, I think that's actually a pretty relevant thing. So let's look it up. I know he's in one of these pools. No, wrong tab. Let's do it. I was looking at battle pools because I'm dumb. Let's see what we can do. He's at. Unfortunately, I do not remember what draft pools people. I probably could just click on him and see his role, but it's easier. Oh, not so easier for you. Okay, so the Madchine was pick 8 in his draft pool. So he was the wheel. That's pretty relevant here. Yeah, being the wheel is pretty relevant. So that will probably inform us on why he made some of his picks the way he did. So first thing, he took Rotom Heat and Tyranitar on the first wheel. It's a pretty solid pairing. Obviously, T-Tar and Rotom Heat for a pretty solid defensive core. And both can function offensively. It's just a really good way to start off your team. Also, your spin blocker and a rocker. Obviously, you don't really want to run rocks on T-Tar, but you can. Gives you a win condition. Just gives you 2 very flexible pieces to start out, which is really nice. And he also had to see what got back. Then on the next wheel, he got Roserade and Gyarados, which is interesting. So Gyarados is kind of surprising it lasted that long. It's been falling kind of late this year, but it's a really good performances. So I expected it to go a bit earlier next year. And Roserade follow up with the Rotom is very, very good for just preventing the hazards from being removed is really nice. Gyarados obviously second win condition. He allows T-Tar to run more breaker sets if it wants, or even rocks if he would like to do that. And then obviously Gyara with these 2 electrics, this is really good. I would say there's no removal yet, and we're going to see there's no removal at all for Gyarados, which is an interesting direction to take it. Personally, I think Gyarados almost always wants to spam because it's hard to pull off a sweep from 75, but to be fair, he can switch in on a lot of rockers as they say up the rocks and use that as an opportunity. So Madchine, does that a lot, could go very far. They has Crest and Rhyperior for his last 2 real Pokemon. Crest is interesting. I mean, I get the fighting resist, but I don't love Crest and Sand because you're forced to rely on rest because Moonlight's just not gonna do shit. So you are forced to rely on rest. I mean, you do have some Pokemon like Rotom that can switch in and pivot into things, and we also see this Rhyperior, which is also on the wheel. We see a lot of T-Tar plus a second rock type in this tournament, and T-Tar plus Rhyperior is pretty interesting. Both are really fat and really strong and just break down. And the rock resists aren't the best in DPP. It's mostly just the steel types and a couple of ground types. But very few of those have recoveries. You can break them down for each other, which is really nice. Rhyperior is probably going to be his primary rocker here, so he doesn't have to run on T-Tar, but he can. And it's not just a really good breaker. Having that power for Earthquake's really good because this team doesn't appreciate steals that much yet. So yeah, that's pretty good here. And the last 2 are just 1-pointers, which I don't think come to A games, but obviously you need 8 Mons. So Parasite's here because it gets Spore. I don't really get it when there's a Roserade, but sure. And Dragonair, I guess like in certain matches, if you can rotate the steel type, you can click Dragon Dance on something weak and get off Outrageous. Maybe it could do something. Or just click a Specs Draco is never a bad thing per se. But realistically, we'll probably see his top 6 in every game. It's probably in all 6 of these games going to be Rotom, some Rotom form, Tyranitar, Roserade, Gyarados, Cresselia, and Rhyperior in some order. That said, let's get into this first matchup here. So our first matchup, he is up against someone named Bonana19. I know I've seen the name around. I don't remember from where. In a couple of our service. So this is the first pools game. His opponent is rocking Metagross, their own Rotom Appliance, Donphan, Drapion, Ambipom, Slowbro, Hitmonlee, and Ninetales. A pretty interesting team. Very bulky offense on there with a few frailer pieces for speed like Ambipom. I like his opponent's team a lot. And one thing I forgot to mention on Madchine's team is he has nothing above 90 base speed, which is kind of wild. This is obviously meant to be a very bulky team on pools, but I mean, Chris Rotom, like Rhyperior, is not the best defensive core, so that's going to be interesting to see how Madchine works around that with such a slow team. And I guess he does have like the Trick Room option with Crest into the year of his rock type, so it doesn't feel great. So yeah, let's look at the matchup. On Madchine's side, T-Tar looks pretty solid. I mean, there's Donphan meta, but both those are going to get worn down. They're both probably going to be... Well, actually, Rhyperior can be switched into by like Slowbro, but T-Tar is going to be really good for forcing progress here. And Gyarados is a fantastic matchup. The only war resist is the Slowbro. And Slowbro can get like worn down by T-Tar or Red Crunch or by Pursuit Trapping if you get it low enough. So that opens up Gyarados really well for an endgame. You have to watch out for Scarf Rotom. But if you run a bit of bulk on Gyarados into a con, you can hopefully live that after rocks and like taking some sand chip. So We'll see, but Gyarados looks fantastic here. Donphan is okay at spamming into Rotom. It needs assurance. He needs to get rocks up, which is not the easiest thing in the world, but it can do it. So it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world for Madchine to keep up hazards, but he will have an advantage in that regard, of course. Funny enough, actually not funny. I was going to say, and I realized it's dumb. Ninetales look kind of interesting here. I was just decent fire resist, but Willow spam is very strong into Madchine's team. Things don't like getting burned on there. And the one thing that doesn't mind the burn really is Roserade. In that, like, because everything else, Roserade doesn't like taking burn plus sand chip. Roserade can naturally clear it off, but Roserade obviously can't switch into Ninetales on a fire move. And same thing with Rotom, the Rotom on Banana's side, even though it's not the best into like T-Tar and stuff, just spamming Will-O-Wisp the entire game is really strong on Banana's side for sure. So yeah, I think those are some pretty decent pieces here. Let's get into the game. So we'll always have Madchine on the left as he is our grand finalist. So let's go Madchine versus Banana. We have Rhyperior into Donphan. We're gonna get rocks and trade rocks. Okay. So you use Wash instead of Heat. Makes sense if you want to get the on the Donphan. Donphan is good. Quick over Sleuth. Very cool. We haven't seen. I mean, it's just Foresight. It's just a clone Foresight. So fair enough. I will expect Assurance, but Foresight was a cool way to do it. I haven't seen that before on Donphan, at least not very often. Hey, we're gonna burn the Donphan, so Will was starting to do stuff. Thunderbolt into Rotom. We're going to take that. It's gonna Shallow Ball, and now Rotom's in a really tough position, especially with this Scarf T-Tar. It's gonna miss the Will-O-Wisp. Oh no, it's special T-Tar, so Will-O-Wisp wouldn't have mattered anyway. That just blows away that Rotom. I'll say a 12% chip every turn would have been nice, but that's a huge swing for Madchine there. Gyarados gonna come in on the Drapion. Drapion is gonna Swords Dance. Instead of hacking Thunderfang, we're gonna switch out to Rhyperior to scout for it. No, it's just gonna Crunch, which does only 32. Rhyperior's pretty fat, of course. It's gonna take an Aqua Tail, but he's holding a Pasho Berry. It will live that. I assume the Pasho Berry was primarily for Rotom, but we have a Shucka Berry on the so trading our berries here. Yeah, this was probably primarily for Rotom Hydro Pump, but it works here. We're going to sack off the Gyarados to Crunch, but he will actually live due to Intimidate, but it's going to die on the following turn. However, Banana is going to switch out the Drapion into Pasho Berry Donphan. So Donphan eats that, but it takes the burn now. It's obviously in Hydro Pump range if he wants to do that. But instead, he's going to go into Crest and Quick Reflect. So it's a Screens Cresselia here. That makes a lot of sense on a team without, like, where you can't use Moonlight. It's going to be a more supportive Crest instead of Wind Concepts. You got a quick T-Wave on Metagross. Dodge a Toxic is pretty big. Into the Rotom Wash to catch the Toxic. Yep. Okay. Obviously, that's going to negate. That's going to add up with Sand, negate lefties, but not the other one. Vulnerable does 37 to Metagross. Metagross is a mirror match for a measly 10% through that Reflect. But Rotom is getting worn down here. We got Thunderbolt as the Donphan comes in. Good play on Banana's side to force more Toxic chip. However, the Donphan's also going to take another Thunderbolt. We're going to Rest here. Okay, so the Rotom is packing Rest. So that means the Toxic wasn't that big a deal. Obviously, Banana had to force some progress temporarily. It's actually Rest Talk. So Rest, Sleep Talk, Thunderbolt, Willows is interesting. I get it. Like, you don't really care about Donphan. You burn it and then he can't do shit to you. So, like, you don't mind not having T-Bolt. Not having, like, a Hydro Pump or Shallow Ball. Metagross is going to keep pursuing, but it's not going to do enough because of this Reflect. This Reflect did a ton of work. Rotom's going to wake up and just rest again, stay healthy. Metagross is going to get fully paralyzed this time. Rotom is just going to Sleep Talk, of course. And it gets a third Thunderbolt Sleep Talk. It's kind of wild getting it 3 times, but that's how it goes sometimes. Not eating will whisper rest once. In comes the Ninetales. Okay, and we're going to bring in the T-Tar. Ninetales is going to Nasty Plot. Okay, I was not expecting that. Is HP fighting? Presumably not because he's switching out. We're going to go for a special Surf into the Donphan, take it out on the switch. Drapion comes in, sack off the Rhyperior. Rhyperior's pretty well. He's packing Brick Break. It makes sense. But the Drapion's now going to go down to the sand. Ninetales comes back in, as does Cresselia. I'll take Hitmonlee because you know Thunder Wave's coming. Ninetales go your win con. And it's a Wimber Hitmonlee. Very cool. Very rare it comes up. We're going to knock off into Crest. Getting rid of its Light Clay, but it still gets 5 turns of screens. I wonder if Banana Fault knockoff did like good damage, which it doesn't this gen. Yeah, to reflect, double out to Roserade as they go into Ninetales. Very solid play. So Ninetales can now get up a Nasty Play if it would like. It's just going to Flamethrower out to 44 to the Roserade. As Roserade misses Stun Spore. Ooh, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate, actually. Because Ninetales is obviously the biggest threat left. Flameverse is going to come out. Rosary is going to barely survive and miss a second stun spore. What is this game? It's going to go down to the sand. That's very unfortunate. This Ninetales is back at full. Into Crest, we're going to switch out, obviously being a Fear of Thunderwave, but we're going to get off a Lunar Dance here into T-Tar. That's huge for answering the Ninetales at the end game. Out to Rotom. On the close combat, obviously there's nothing into Ghost-type Rotom. And then we see the Ninetales has to come in here. But double out to T-Tar, very good play. Very, very good play. Bonea has to get back into Hitmonlee, but T-Tar can start hitting at Surf with a crit KOs. That's huge. Here's a game. Yeah. And Madchine is going to take home the win over Banana. Pretty hacksy game, but overall, I think his prep was really good. I mean, we saw the berries. We saw I like the Willow's T-Bolt as the moves on the Rest Talk set because of the fact that Donphay is the ground type, and if it gets burned, it can't do shit to you anyway. Even if it tries to Toxic, you can just rest it off. Special Teacher is really cool. Makes a lot of sense into a team of stuff like Donphan and Megras and Rotom. Makes a lot of sense to run special Teacher. Even probably had Earth Power for the Drapion too. Just a very cool set. Then we see the Reflect, just a pretty standard supportive Crest, which I think we're going to see a lot on this team just because it can't really heal itself, so it makes sense to use it as a support piece. And to be fair, it's very good in that role. Yeah, so pretty solid from Banana. Cool sets from Madchine. Cool sets on Banana side from the Oversweep on the Donphan, the Source Dance Drapion. But yeah, overall, Madchine's going to take home this win, taking his first win of pools. Let's go into game 2. Second game is versus Laxwee, also known as Silly Guy. So let's look at this matchup, of course. Okay, so on Laxwee's side, we see Infernape, Snorlax, Crest, so it's a Crest Mirror, Empoleon, Gliscor, Skuntank, Hitmonchan, and Kingler. So second Hitmon in a row, which are kind of tough at spinning into Rotom, so that's good for Madchine, of course. And spikes do look pretty solid here into like 8 Snorlax and Empoleon, even Skuntank. So it's pretty nice. Infernape is a bit scary, but you do have good fire resist, but you don't have great fire resist. Like, you have, I guess, I mean, you have the Rock Tips, and also switching. You have Gyarados, but, like, you can pack, like, Thunder Punch or HP Electric for you. Offensively, though, T-Tar looks fucking fantastic here. You obviously run Trouble because for Mach Punch Infernape, but, like, other than that, it looks fantastic at just clicking buttons into this team. It's if it gets to a DD too, that would be really nice. You have to watch out for Sandville Gliscor, which we did legalize for this tournament, which we will not for future tournaments, but we did allow that because we wanted to be consistent with Sandville, which was kind of done in hindsight, but yeah, that's a thing that can maybe happen. Gyarados looking very solid. Only water resist is Empoleon, of course. The Empoleon does not enjoy taking Earthquakes. This Infernape is very, very scary, though. Snorlax is a bit tough for matching a breakdown. It might need some, like, T-Tar taunt Gyarados action to do that, which is not the easiest thing in the world because obviously they're going to be strapped for move slots. Although I think those taunts might be pretty helpful also for Crest setup, which is definitely a threat in this matchup, but with the sand, it's kind of hard to pull it off. Madchine's going to watch out for Skuntank, Pursuit, Trapping, Roros, and Crest because those are only real Infernape checks on his team outside the Gyarados, which is, of course, one stray electric move from dying. This is kind of interesting. This is pretty interesting one. Rhyperior looks pretty solid here offensively. Earthquake plus Ice Punch just kind of murks this plus Megalorn kind of murks this team. So I could maybe see like a Tricker Mango of Crest into Rhyperior, but with the Snorlax that's pretty risky. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly feel like the actual maybe slightly favors Laxwee here, but we'll get into the game. Hey, Madchine on the left again and Laxwee on the right. Yes, Gyarados leading into Snorlax. Out to Roserade as Lax switches to Crest. Not when I take a potential sleep. We're going to go into Skuntank, which just takes a Leech Seed here. It's going to crunch for 37. It's a pretty fat Roserade. Get up a Spike. And the Skuntank is going to boom. That crit definitely didn't matter. But that means one Spike is up so far. Roserade's down there. We're going to go out to Gyarados and Crest on switch. And we're going to T-Tar, catch the Toxic. Not the end of the world. Not the worst status for T-Tar to have. And out to Gliscor. T-Tar just can get up Rock. So he is the rocker in this matchup. I mean, the Rhyperior is probably a more offensive say in the back. Go for Ice Beam into Yachiberry, guys. So Ice gets up his own rocks. Only just 40. Just switch out because he can just roost that off, obviously. Oh, it's running Hyper Guard. I guess he didn't realize Sandville was weak. Fair enough, but it also helps versus the Gyarados, I guess. We're going to miss a Toxic, and now Gyarados gets off a free Drying Dance. It could be one berry, though. That's big, though. We're going to go for the Waterfall and just take out the Gliscor. It is just Gyarados doing Gyarados things. You know, it gets one lucky turn, the game can end. We see a Scarf Fairy come in with Thunder Punch. Is Wakandberry, though. Is going to KO through the Wakandberry, however, after all the chip from Rocks and Sand, which is kind of like what I was saying when I was talking about the draft. Like, it's kind of tough for Gyarados to get a sweep off, even with the Wakan, with Rocks and Sand chipping it so much. But we see Rock Polish right here. So we get Mega Horn here. Yep. For the Mega Horn to over Africa. Miss a Nerd Toxic. That's really unfortunate for Wax there, of course. You could get up to +4 speed. +4 is out. That should outspeed. Yeah, outspeed Scarf and Fairy. Scarf and Fairy is 519. It is now, what, like 600 something? Or not 600. What is it? It's like, I don't know. It's faster than Infrared. That's what matters. Out to Empoleon on the Mega Horn. Gonna easily eat that. Get some more chip on this Rhyperior. Out to Rotom. Presumably expecting a Crest coming on the Earthquake. Yep. Wants to keep Rhyperior somewhat healthy. So Rotom comes in here. Crest gonna protect. See what it's gonna do. Just a quick Thunderbolt. Kind of don't think Crest is in range, but I don't know the spreads. Yeah, Crest is not in range of it, and Crest is going to get off the Moonlight, but Moonlight only heals 25%. Crest is still out of range, but, like, that's not really making much headway for Waxweed. Just going to spam this, I guess, to try and limit some T-Bolt PP. I'm not sure, like, based on us doing 26, it might actually, I guess he's just trying to stall T-Bolts, which fair enough, like, why not? It's better than switching something in and, like, taking chip for no reason. And we're gonna get the crit there, so we'll take out the Crest. Honestly, it matter, but like over time, and the Roam isn't like Sand, isn't lefty, so it could have worn down the Sand, of course. Snorlax comes in, he's gonna start cursing, doing the Snorlax thing. But Crest gonna trick it a Choice Scarf, and now it is locked into Crunch. That isn't even 2 KO Crest, of course. But then you can just go out to T-Tar. Except he's gonna Lunar Dance, heal something up, which is the Rhyperior. And it could easily take +1 crunches from Snorlax. Actually, only just 24. The drop kind of sucks, but it can still Rock Polish here. Or just go Earthquake to get the 2 KO. Makes sense. Yep, doing 35 now. Now let's go Rock Polish. Okay. It's going to be Sword, Scarf, and Fernape, but I don't really get that. But anyway, Crunch is not going to kill again, or drop doesn't really matter. We're going to take out Snorlax with Earthquake. But Shirley and Fernape can just outspeed with the Scarf, yeah. You're just going to KO the Rhyperior with U-turn, bring in the Empoleon. However, this is a free switching for the Rotom, which can Thunderbolt pretty freely here. Yep, Thunderbolt's just going to take out the Empoleon there. And also, if this is the Scarf and Fernape at 20%. And, oh, it's Scarf Rotom as well. Wow, Scarf Rotom, it was faster than the Scarf and Fernape. That's kind of wild. Wonder how much speed the Scarf and Fernape had. Maybe, I'm assuming Scarf and Fernape was just creeping the Gyarados. And this was creeping that, or maybe creeping Crest. So yeah, very good play there with Madchine with calling the Scarf and Fernape being slower than the Scarf Rotom. Oh, I don't know how much it matters because Rotom, I mean, Invariant can't lock into a move that kills this because he can lock into Flare, but that doesn't kill Tyranitar. So I think Madchine always had it, even if his Rotom was slower there. So yeah, pretty good win by Madchine over a very solid player. I like the more supportive T-Tar into offensive right here. I didn't mention the draft analysis that this might come up and did here. Yeah, and more support Crest with Trick and Lunar Dance. And a good play trying to stall out the Sand to chip the Rotom. That was smart. And yeah, nothing else too crazy. But yeah, Madchine's going to take him a second win, guaranteeing he advances at least to the bracket stage. So this these games might not be in order because I didn't check the order of the pools games were played. So sorry about that if they're out of order. But anyway, let's go game 3. So we have the Madchine versus JJ Galls in the third pools game. JJ Galls is a pretty solid DB player. I know he doesn't have a ton of experience, but in the tournaments and weeks I've seen him do, he's done very, very well. So definitely not an easy opponent. And looking at this matchup, let's see. First of all, I'm noticing his Rotom is pretty much free here. There's no the ground type is fucking Marowak. There's no ground type, and the grass type is Shane, which obviously cancels Shane like Fireball and Shadow Ball, but does not enjoy taking an overheat to the face. Offensive Arcanine actually looks kind of scary. Fire plus like close combat, or even like special, like Flame Flare plus like HP Rash or something. I don't know. I mean, this is obviously going to be something, but, like, I think offensive Arcanine looks really good here. Poling also looking pretty solid with free attacks, or just has a bulkier piece with, like, Shuckleberry, HP Electric to take on Gyarados. I could very easily see that. Although Shaman is a very good Gyarados deck, to be fair. Fizz-Dev Shaman looks really hard for Madchine to break, actually. Like, all his main offensive pieces are physical outside of, like, Sludge Bomb, Roserade. And Sludge Bomb, Roserade isn't the worst here. It's kind of spammable into everything but Empoleon. Azelf is interesting. It does have a bit of a hard time into T-Char Crest, but, I mean, I'm not going to reveal it, but I know sets that Azelf can run to beat most T-Chars. It just depends what JD Galls wants to do with it. Arrow is interesting. The only rock resist is Rhyperior, and you can Aqua Tail that to hell, so not bad. The Spare's Hitmontop needs the Foresight to spin on the Rotom, so getting spikes up or rock, especially rocks, could be really big to chip down on Arcanine over time. Because the Arcanine can't Morning Sun very effectively in the sand, of course. Yeah, so it's kind of a hard one to call. I feel like I kind of lean his opponent again. I feel like Shaman's so good here. I'm going to lean JJ Galls, but obviously we'll see what happens. So, yeah, I think Shaman's really good here. So, we'll see the matchup. Madchine on the left, JJ Galls on the right. Azelf lead into Gyarados. Azelf's going to U-turn now on turn 1, getting a bit of chip on this Gyarados as Dusknoir comes in. And Gyarados just go Waterfall on turn 1, getting off a Queen 35, not bad damage. This will be forced out, fearing a Will-O-Wisp. Or as the Thunder Punch comes out, hits the T-Char for only 19. This might be special T-Char again because he went hard into it on potential Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, it's special again with Dark Pulse. Madchine showing he really likes this special T-Char setting. I kind of get it into like teams that spam Will like this one. Thunderbolt doing 47 to Empoleon, but it's not necessarily going to kill after an Ur. Lefties are definitely not going to kill after Protect, as Empoleon gets up the rocks. This will severely limit Gyarados. We're a quick Flamethrower, expecting a switch into Shaman, I presume, but just not going to kill. And Surf's going to come out, popping the Patcho Barrier on Tyranitar. Thunderbolt's going to come out. I think this might be, I don't remember how much damage. It might be a roll here, but anyway, out to Shaman on the Thunderbolt to take it pretty easily. Yep, Shaman does come in here. Out to Roserade on the Shaman as he just Seed Flares, gets a crit for 22 and it's a Death Drop. That's unfortunate. Now a Roserade might be in range of like a Psychic. It's Life Force. It's definitely in range of a Psychic Radar slash with the Death Drop. HP something. I don't know. Fire. I guess fire. Or I don't know. But Rhyperior's going to take the Rhythm Barrier for Seed Flare. And it's going to probably Mega Horn the Shaman. Yeah, and Shaman's down. Wow, that's a huge red goal. I did obviously wear down the Roserade and the Rhyperior, but getting rid of that's huge. And Empoleon's going to come in as we go Crest on the Surf. Not take too much from it. And Crest going to start Calm Mind, so it's going to be a Calm Mind set this time. It dodged a Toxic. Wow. Imagine dodging a lot of Toxic, I'm not going to lie, but it is only 85 in this gen, and even Poison types can miss it. Take Toxic as a second Calm Mind, but it's definitely going to have Rest if it's on a Sand team, so I don't know how much the Toxic is going to matter. But I guess it forced it to rest at regular intervals, which is not great. It's going to rest here, so I presume the arrow is coming in to taunt it, but it's just going to rest, yeah. There we go, taunt here, I assume. No, it's just going to crunch for 34. Okay, that's okay damage, but another Life Orb. We're going to see. We're going to. And it's not Sweep Talk, though, so it's 2 attacks. Now he is forced out because obviously it would be free to KO. So into Rhyperior on the crunch. Get another tick of Life Orb chip on that arrow, but you can just finish you off with another crunch. Yep, arrow's now 70 now. In comes the Rotom. I assume it's Colbur based on your body, or it's just bulky. There is the Dusknoir coming on Thunderbolt. Let's go with another one. Dusknoir showing why it was pretty popular in this tournament as a, well, not popular, but drafted enough as a low tier ghost to move up for future tours that we've been running in future tours that have been running in our service. Anyway, just another Brick Break, do a tiny bit to that Gyarados. Waterfall gonna come off, gets good crit that Empoleon, getting it super low. It's now, actually, it's probably not in range of another one, but out to Dusknoir anyway. On the Earthquake, yeah, but it would have been range of Earthquake. So Dusknoir is going to go down to the sand here. In comes the Arcanine. It definitely has Thunderfang. Yep, it's going to take out the Gyarados. Obviously, no Wild Charge in this gen, so Thunderfang's his best option for that. And we're going to bring in the T-Tar. Is it Scarf T-Tar? Maybe. I don't know if we've seen a switch move set. I'm not sure. Dark Bolt's going to come out. But Empoleon can protect and have enough, or it's just go Thunderbolt. So, I guess he just didn't have close combat if he was switched out there. Azelf go U-turn, take out the T-Tar. So what's coming back in? The Arcanine? Yeah. Makes sense. We're going to bring in the Crest here. I think Arcanine might just clean up. We're going to go for Crunch. Yeah, more dark coverage. Crest gonna sleep. Yep. And now we can just quick it again. And nothing really takes. I think this is just game over. I think the Arcanine wins. Flare Blitz. how much, I don't remember how much health things are at. Rotom's at E2. I guess it doesn't all win, but he's looking pretty good. Thunderbolt, Scarf Thunderbolt for the free, but Crunch could take it out because the offensive Rotom, and that's going to be the end of the game. This where what's obviously just finished off first right here. So we're actually going to see Madchine take a loss in pools. So his pools record moving out was 2-1. Of course, that doesn't matter that much as long as you get into brackets, which he did. But yeah, so he did take one loss of the tournament. So if he, so we know at least going into the grand finals, he has had one loss so far this tournament. Obviously, he has to win the rest because he's in our bracket games. But yeah, and we know he's the finals winner. So yeah, that is his first loss and only loss so far of the tournament. But JJ Gall's taking down clearly a very strong player. Okay, we can start moving on to his bracket games now. Imagine his bracket games. Let's see what we got. First, we got top 128. He is up against Max, also known as Huh with 2 U's. Someone I've been learned recently is a very, very good DPP player. Won the ZTL DPP tournament, I believe. Also has done one on some team tours recently. Yeah, so quite a solid DPP player for sure. So two very good players here that should be a great game. On Max's side, we see the Rotom Appliance, Skarmory, Flygon, Blastoise, Venusaur, Ambipom, Gallade, and Wigglytuff. So let's see. First one I noticed that T-Char looks okay. I mean, I always like looking at T-Char matchup. It's like this is like mixed T-Char looks pretty good here. So you just have to wear down a Blastoise, which is doable. Stuff like Roserade and Rotom. And the spirit being Blastoise on Max's side isn't the best in the world. I mean, it can, like, if you want like Hydro Pump, you can maybe spin on it, but it's tough. So those spikes on the Max's will be annoying. However, Max has also got good spike support with the Skarmory. And obviously, Rhyperior and T-Char and even Roserade don't appreciate that. So Skarm's looking kind of annoying for Madchine outside specifically the Rotom. So you may have to get a little creative to get around that. Flygon's okay. It's not the best, but like Outrage is pretty spammable into Madchine's team since there's no Steel type. So like I can see, but actually, what am I saying? Banded Outrage looks insane. There's nothing faster than Flygon. So Madchine's getting a Scarfer or two to not just lose to Banded Outrage, which is you're probably gonna have to sack him on Banded Outrage and try and revenge, because like this Flygon just is really scary with no Dragon Resist. Yeah, Crest looking pretty annoying for Max to break though. I will say like a physically defensive Crest with maybe like Calm Mind or something could be difficult, or just like a more supportive set. We'll see. Yeah, I think I have to give him the matchup to his opponent again. I know I keep saying the matchup to his opponent, but honestly, like looking at this, Flygon is just so frightening instead of the other pieces too. I definitely think Max has the matchup advantage here at least. So let's get into it. We have Madchine on the left as always, and Max on the right. Rotom lead into Gallade. Gallade's just going to trick it a Scarf. As Rotom Shallow Ball is doing 71. But obviously the Gallade can't switch. It's getting a little bit of lefties. It can switch into something. I could take that. There's the Venusaur. Shouldn't take much. Yeah, it's probably a bulkier Venusaur. It has a Spidef drop. But because the Rotom is Scarf, it can't take advantage of that. And Gyarados is going to go to sleep. That's a huge threat neutralized from Max's side. Then in comes the Roserade on the Sludge Bomb when we take 34. It's not lefties though, so it is free at KO'd. Yeah, Hidden Power into the Rotom, presumably HP Fire. Let's look. Let's see. Yeah, presumably HP Fire because it's also a Skarmory. Alright. T-Tar gonna come out, dodge the Will-O-Wisp from the Rotom. Could be one though, or special, as we've seen a lot of specials this tournament. Another Will-O-Wisp buff. Yep, and the first special Tyranitar in 4 games. Madchine really likes this set. I mean, it's working. He's faced a lot of matchups where you'd want. Like, every matchup has had, like, a ton of Will-O-Wisp spam. So I get why he keeps bringing special T-Tar. He kind of is forced into it. At least plays going to do 37 to Rotom. Not bad. We're going to lock into Shallow Ball again. But Venusaur can come back in on that. Out to the Sleeping Gyarados. Fair enough. Sludge Bomb doing 26. So I guess this gives you a chance to burn a sleep turn, maybe. Out to Skarmory now. As we're going to stay asleep. Oh, it's Sleep Talk. It's Sleep Talk Gyarados. Very cool with Earthquake. Very cool. So that's why we went into it earlier on the Venusaur. That was the prep. Very nice. We're going to see T-Tar come in on the Skarmory Rocks. Skarmory's just got Brave Bird. Yeah, Babe Chip. That's T-Tar's got Ice Beam. Only doing 37. I presume it has a fire move, though. You might be expecting the fire to come in. We're going to Thunderbolt, though. It's not Flamethrower, so that means this thing can roost on it. Unless it's packing Earth Power, which I guess it could be. Yeah, you have the rocks, however, okay. So that's, yeah, so now that Skarmory does, if you can just spam. Oh, I guess I said full, so I can't roost anymore. So now Thunderbolt's going to KO, but T-Tar might go down to the burn here. Yeah, no, it's going to wave on a tiny sliver. But Galley can always revenge it, of course. Galley's going to Leaf Blade here, knock it out. We see Crest come in here. So Galley might have a move for it, but he probably doesn't. In comes the Blastoise. Goes Psyching the Blastoise for 22 is a good opportunity for RMS to try and spin, I guess, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. We're going to miss a Hydro Pump. Yeah, as I said in the preview, it might be running Hydro Pump to try and hit the Rotom, but now that's a free Trick Room for Madchine. Psychic doing 22. We're going to Roar with the Blastoise. Brings into Rhyperior, which is obviously not what you want to see because that's the threat in Trick Room. Sacking off the Gallade here to an Earthquake. In comes the Blastoise. This isn't our sack yet. It's Custap. Custap Blastoise in the coming up to be faster in Trick Room and taking out the Rhyperior with Hydro Pump. Very cool attack. That's a very, very cool bring. Obviously, Crest just could come in and take it out, but Rhyperior going down is really big. Next is 2 Pokemon with the Venu and whatever the last, and obviously it's the Flygon. So this Flygon is very scary. Now, no Dragon Resist as we've seen. You could go into Gyarados to get off the Intimidate. Just go U-turn no into Venusaur. Gyarados is going to wake up and Ice Fang the Venusaur, taking it out. So, how many Sweep Turns have that been? One. So I guess the 2-turn wake up was a little lucky because it goes up to 4 turns this gen. But yeah, as you see, Gyarados is going to wake up and Ice Fang the Venusaur on the next turn. If you go down, I mean, that Flygon's the last Pokemon. I don't think Flygon can beat through this whole team. I mean, it's good in this matchup, but I don't think it can beat through the whole team. It's good Dragon Pulse, so it's special. Okay, interesting. But yeah, Roserade. Just gonna Leaf Storm is a Scarf. Leaf Storm. Roserade takes a Scarf. Take it out, and that's gonna be a win for Madchine, taking home another win, moving on to top 64. Scarf, not Scarf. Sweep Talk Gyarados is really cool. Interesting to have that as your Venusaur response. I mean, you have a great error one. Scarf, Roserade makes a lot of sense here. I like that. Trick Room was pretty good. Rhyperior did look very strong here. Special T-Tar again, third time we've seen it, but like he does keep facing like Roam Appliance and our like Will-O-Wisp spawns that he needs to switch in on, so fair enough. Yeah, and then Galley was kind of cool to trick. You don't see Galley very much in this generation. And I drove my Blastoise as I called to try and spam Rotom. So yeah, Madchine's going to take home the win. On to top 64. Our top 64 game here. Which is up against Starmie. From what I've heard, a very good DB player from Smogon. I did not know him too well going into this, but I've been told they're very good. And they're rocking their signature Starmie, of course, as well as a Skarmory, a Heracross, Hippowdon, Venusaur, Aerodactyl, Absol, and Manectric. So another Venu Skarmory core is kind of funny. We see sand on both sides. And the combination of Hippo and Skarmory is going to be really hard for Madchine because obviously, like, those things just don't take shit from T-Tar or Rhyperior, and that's a large part of his offense. Rotom is going to have to play in overtime here, but to be fair, it definitely can do that. Rotom looks like it has a fantastic matchup offensively. The only thing is you have to worry about getting Pursuit Trapped by Absol, but, you know, there's ways to play around that. Aerodactyl kind of scary. Your Rock Resist is just a Rhyperior, which, as I said before, in the Aero matchup, Aqua Tail can kind of smack it. Yeah, so the Rock types are kind of a tough spot. Starmie looking pretty decent offensively. Crest kind of shits on it, but other than that. And Heracross also looking very scary, but obviously you have the Roam and the Gyarados can help with that in that regard. I don't know, I said this like all but one matchup, but I think I have to use matchup to Star. Maybe it's like their defensive cores look so strong here. I don't know what Madchine's going to do to break it. So yeah, we'll just get into the game. Madchine on the left, Starmie on the right. You're going to see Heracross lead into Rotom. You're going to see Gyarados coming out. He's going to bounce, so scouting on the Venusaur. Basically, you have the power on Starmie. This is going to force out the Starmie as it needs the natural cure now. Or it's just going to recover. Okay. Your T-Tar comes in, and we're going to Pursuit Trap that Starmie. Is Cold Berry, though, to stay alive. It will survive anyway, but it's not damage, but it would have been very low. In comes the Hippo. Out to Roserade on Rocks. So Rocks go up on Madchine's side. As we know, those are going to stay up. We're going to paralyze the Hippo here. Fair enough. And Earthquake's going to do 45. It's not going to a KO after the Black Sludge, though. So it's forced out, feeling a Grass-type move. Roserade's going to give a Spike, though, with this opportunity. Into the Rhyperior. As Arrow's got a sub. Oh, interesting. And it's doing exact. Oh, no, it's lefties. I was like, why is it? Yeah. So it's sub Toxic Arrow. We're just going to Aqua Tail it to break that sub. But now, obviously, it can just spam sub if it wants. It's not going to, though. It's going to go out to Skarmory. As a Madchine makes a very good double into Rotom Frost. Okay. Very good double there. And he goes the Hippo. We're going to discharge, but we can just follow this up with a big Blizzard if we would like. And he would like and gets off 52% into the Hippo. That's a lot of damage. We're going to take a Thunder Fang to the face, expecting the Gyarados. That's going to do virtually nothing. And Hippo is in range of another Blizzard. And we are going to connect. It's about a coin flip to hit 2 Blizzards. And he did hit them. So he got that coin flip in his favor. Then we see Sleep Powder onto the Crest, putting it to sleep. But if you're going to have anything be asleep, Crest is not the worst thing to put to sleep. You get knocked off removing the leftovers. So now it's actually getting chipped really, really hard. Yeah, for Weechi, yeah, this Crest is getting chipped to high heaven. And the Roseray comes. Yeah, this would be something very annoying. Starmie gonna come in as the Roseray comes in. So we know the Roseray's not Scarf, so it was very frightened here by Psychic or an Ice Beam. Out to T-Tar. As Starmie chooses opportunity to spin, getting rid of that spike. Surf's going to come out. It's a Pasture Berry T-Tar. We've seen that a lot from Madchine, and we're going to Pursuit Trap the Starmie, taking it out. So in comes the Heracross. We go out to Gyarados to get the Intimidate off. They're just going to Mega Horn for 35. Wow, that's banded as hell if that's through Intimidate. That's banded as hell. Go hit again, and it's going to get the roll, so it dies. I don't know what the roll was, but yeah, Gyarados going to go down. In comes the Rotom. Beastars going to come back in. As we go for Blizzard, we do miss. I mean, it's going to happen eventually with Blizzard. Is he going to go for it again? He is. He's going to land this time, doing just under half to the Venusaur. So that's not great. He's going to come out. This Rotom's getting chipped. Even though actually has the Pokemon advantage, he's taking a lot of chip on everything, and most of Starmie's team is very, very healthy. Airjewel is going to come out into the Roserade, do virtually nothing. Roserade's going to miss a Stun Spore, though, and that means that it's going to lose its item as well, losing the Black Switch. Now, it's also getting worn down by the sand. Gaheem Power Fire, do minuscule. That's a Spadef as hell Venusaur. And Roserade's going to die to the sand here. What's going to come in is the T-Tar. Okay, T-Tar's the switch. Go quick Fire Blast. Is that... We haven't seen... No, it's Patch. It's just... That's slow. Venusaur makes sense. In comes the Heracross. Go for Mega Horn. Tyranitar's going to go down. Does get an opportunity to bring in Rhyperior, because you know it's banded. They just go for Fire Punch. I'm only doing 46 to Skarmory. That's not a ton. Out to Rotom. As Skarmory just go Roost here. He's going to pay back, but the Skarmory is actually faster, so it doesn't do very much. And the Rotom is just going to rest here. Interesting that Skarmory is faster. Not sure how, but sure. Oh, it's busy SD fucking Skarmory. But we're going to Sweep Talk into the Discharge, so that takes it out. Out comes the Heracross. It's going to miss a Stone Edge. We Sweep Talk again. Getting rest. That's going to be a wasted turn for Madchine. Nothing. I mean, and Stone Edge miss, obviously. But now, because he knows it's locked in, he can go right out to Rhyperior knowing it's locked in a Stone Edge, yeah. Arrow's going to come out. Fair enough. It's just going to fire an Aqua Tail here, so you go out to Crest. Yep. Arrow's going to take the opportunity to sub, though. I don't even know if Crest breaks the sub if it wakes up. I honestly don't know. Arrow's going to Rock Slide. Crest is going to wake up. It's only doing 14. He's going to Lunar Dance. Okay, so that's going to get something back to full. The Rhyperior. Anger of the Toxic. That's pretty nice. Out to the Rowan Frost on the Toxic. Makes sense. You don't want Rhyperior getting Toxic this late. Rock Slide comes out, does 31. It's not terrible damage. Rotom's going to wake up and Discharge. Break the sub. Arrow's going to switch out to Heracross as Discharge comes out again. Getting 51 and getting the power, so that's pretty big. That means that Heracross is obviously in bad shape now. You can just die to another Discharge. Yeah, it should seal up the game for Madchine here. Rock Slide's going to miss. It wouldn't have killed anyway, so we wouldn't need a crit. And Discharge is going to... Oh, so yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. He wouldn't need a crit Rock Slide anyway, so it wouldn't need a crit. And Madchine's going to take home the win. Moving on, top 32. So, yeah, pretty cool. I like the Discharge Blizzard set with the Rescue Talk. He's running a lot of Rescue Talk Rotom, and to be fair, it served him very well, so I don't blame him there. Bounce Power, Gyarados for Heracross and Venusaur is really cool. Another mixed T-Tar, as we've come to expect at this point. I'm curious we didn't really see much about the Rhyperior set, so I'm curious about it more. And then we see the Lure Dance on the crest, which again is just a support set as we've kind of come to expect. Neat set from Anon on the Venusaur. I like the Energy Ball for an extra PP that could very well come up. And Payback Swords Dance Skarmory is really cool. Obviously it didn't work out, but very cool. And Subtoxic something you don't see too often here. With that, Madchine's going to move on to top 32. His last match of this stream is the last match before the redraft. And he is up against my number 2, the person that I turned to for a lot of stuff in DET, and who pretty much is the driving force behind DPP draft tiers nowadays. It is Jaranis. So an amazing DPP player, was one of the best out there. He's also an amazing ADV player as he won one of the Armor Opens. I think it was 2 or 3. I don't remember which one. But obviously, Madchine has had a great run so far. So it should be a really good game between 2 fantastic players. So Jaranis is packing Starmie, Heatran, Gyarados, Celebi, Frostos, Rhyperior, Absol, and Ariados. So we see a Gyarados and a Rhyperior mirror. I will say Gyarados looks a little better into Madchine's team because Gyarados has like Starmie and Celebi, whereas Madchine's check is like Roserade. Not the best, I guess. His own Gyarados. T-Tar, however, looks fantastic. Like this is the first really good physical T-Tar matchup we've seen. Stone Edge is super spammable. You obviously just Aqua Tail into the Rhyperior. But yeah, this is the first really good Stone Edge T-Tar matchup we've seen, so I'm excited to see what Madchine actually brings on it. Celebi's very scary though. I mean, you don't have great switches to his stabs at all, so it's very scary. Rotom looking very solid though. Hydro Pump plus Electro Move, but Shower Ball is very spammable. Heatran is interesting. There's some okay checks to it, but it's not the best. Obviously, you probably might have to rely on T-Tar for it, which is not ideal, or Rotom, but Rotom isn't the best into it either. As we said in the last game, Starmie is very potent offensively here. Absol can pursue trap the Rotom, but he's just sending dummies of stuff like Will-Wisp and Thunderwave. Yeah, and then one thing I'm noticing is Jaranis' Spear is Starmie, so that's decent into Rotom. Not like Rotom's best spin blocker in the form as we know. So spikes are not gonna be the easiest thing to keep up. Whereas Jaranis has his own spikes with Frostlass and Rock, so I'll come on. So hazards could be up on Madchine's side. Yeah, so pretty good. I think I'm winning Jaranis this matchup, but Madchine definitely has a lot of really good tools here. I'm hoping to finally see T-Tar pop off with a big physical set this game. So it's our last game of the stream. We have Madchine versus Jaranis. T-Tar went into Frostos first to give a spike. T-Tar crunches, KOs it, so it wasn't even Sash. Fair enough. I guess Sash doesn't really matter when there's sand, yeah. In comes Jaranis' Rhyperior. He's just going to get up rocks, so it's a more bulkier Rhyperior set probably. Now we're going to reflect with Crest as it goes for Stone Edge. Going to 13. It's a very physically defensive Cresselia. Get up the white screen here, but Rhyperior's packing Brick Break, having scouted Madchine's earlier games, realizing he loves his screens. Get up the Reflect here, take the Stone Edge, but it's going to be forced out onto something as the Rhyperior's going to Brick Break again. Or just go Grass Knot, okay, 56, as Rhyperior's going to Brick Break, so it removes the screen, but he's in range of another Grass Knot now. Out to Heatran on the presumed Grass Knot, yep. So that's very good prep from Jaranis, their Brick Break to get rid of those screens. Flash Game's going to come out and KO the Crest, meaning that the screens are now gone for the game. In comes Gyarados on the Heatran, but Heatran going to be back in HP Electric. However, Jaranis is going to go out to his own Heatran to intimidate it. Get a Dragon Dance from Madchine's end. Presumably he's just going to Stone Edge here if he has it. He does have it. He's going to hit. Oh no. Into the Charity, we get the crit as Gyarados go Roar. So Gyarados is pretty low now. Rhyperior comes in. Not the best switch in for Madchine, of course. We're going to taunt the Rhyperior to prevent it from staying up. And it does get that correct as Rhyperior is going to Rock Polish there. We're going to be a Pasho Berry for the Waterfall. Take very little. If I have a little of that Pasho Berry. Hey, wait. Rhyperior is just so damn fat, man, on the physical side. We're going to take out that Gyarados, but Starmie's going to come in Revenge. What comes in? Rotom Mow in this matchup. Interesting. Heatran's going to come in on the Shadow Ball, going to do virtually nothing. Only 15. Yes, but F drop though, but it's probably not the biggest deal. I mean, Thunderbolt does more now, but in comes Gyarados again. Going to take rocks and sand again, which is going to add up. Lava Plume from the Heatran gets the burn, so it's going to be almost dead after burn and sand. Yeah, it's at 2%, so this is his last turn in the game. Just get Natural Gift, get another crit. Natural Gift, Grass. Oh, no, Natural Gift Electric. I don't know what type that is. I don't know what type the Natural Gift is. Probably like Grass or something. Let's look. No, it's probably it's natural gift bug for Celebi. If I had to, I bet it's natural gift bug type for Celebi. Get the crits. That's gonna put Starmie really low. In comes the Rotom. Rotom Scout Speed, Hurricane Power. Who knows? Ground probably. Celebi's gonna come in as T-Star's to switch. Grass Knot's gonna come out. Crit, take out the T-Tar in 1 after the Rocks and Spikes. Okay. We'll have crits this game. We see Rotom come back in on the Celebi. Heatra's going to be the switch on to a Shallow Ball. I'm pretty sure we know the Rotom is Scarf at this point, at least with how he's playing it. Yeah, just going to stay in, sack it. Shallow Ball, get their crit, so Heatra's pretty well in the Spidef drop. Wildhoom's going to come out, take out the Rotom. So Madchine's down to his last Pokemon. What's his last Pokemon? He is Roserade, okay. Roserade going to click HP ground. It does outspeed. But Celebi's still in the back. Will it live a Psychic? Celebi's going to come out. Psychic, we are Pyapa Bear, so it does live the Psychic. And what's a good quick Sludge Bomb? Does 96. It's going to get the poison, but it will. Oh, no, it's not. You see it. It gets the poison. Now you can't sell. Actually, it will die after Sand anyway. Then it's our Pure Fish off of Grass Knot. And Madchine is going to win his last game versus Geronus. Again, 2 amazing players. Geronus, one of the best DVP players in the game in draft, in just as far in general. Versus, and Madchine's going to take home the win. Moving on top 16. So next time we will watch. That's 6 games from Madchine. 5-1 across these games. Very well played. Very well prepped in all of them. Natural Gift Bug is very funny and makes sense for the Celebi. Very cool. Grass Dot. Grass is very good prep. Yeah, I like on Geron's side too. The Brick right here is very smart. No, in the defensive Gyarados, I like both those a lot. But yeah, that Madchine is going to move on to top 16. Next time we see him, we'll be on. Next time we see him will be on Thursday with his redraft games. But next time I'll see you is tomorrow for Crashing Boom Bang, aka CBB's pools and main bracket games. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for some CBB's games.